Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going small. Really small, actually.
Are indeed.
We're looking at the Apple iPhone 12 mini, specifically a renewed 64 GB black one you might find listed on Amazon.
Right.
The idea is to figure out, what this compact phone really offers, especially when you buy it renewed.
Exactly. And to do that, we've got the Amazon product page, details, specs, price, all that. And crucially, what the actual buyers are saying in the reviews.
Okay.
And we're also looking at an expert product review of the same phone.
Good stuff.
So our mission essentially is to see if picking up one of these renewed minis is actually a smart move for you.
Right. Let's get into it. First off, the size. It's properly tiny.
It really is pocket-sized is the word.
Yeah, dimensions are, 131.5 by 64.2 by 7.4 millimeters and only 135 grams.
Super light.
It just screams pocket-friendly. And the expert review mentioned how good it is for one-handed use, which honestly is sometimes a struggle with these bigger phones.
Oh, absolutely. That's a massive plus for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And the design itself, it's not just small, is it? They brought back those flat aluminum edges.
Yeah, gives it a good grip.
Mm-hmm. And you've got the ceramic shield on the front, glass back. It feels premium, but, pretty tough too. Kind of a classic look meets modern materials.
And it's got IP68 water and dust resistance. What does that actually mean day to day? Can I drop it in the sink?
Yeah, pretty much. IP68 means it can handle being submerged, usually about 1.5 meters of fresh water for up to 30 minutes. So yeah, an accidental drop in the bath or the sink.
Okay, good to know.
It should survive that. It's good reassurance. But what's really interesting is what the Amazon reviews say about the condition of these renewed phones.
Right, because renewed can mean different things.
Exactly. Some buyers are saying theirs arrived in perfect condition, almost completely untouched, even not a single scratch or chip.
Wow, that's the dream for a renewed product, isn't it? Getting it basically new but cheaper.
That's the ideal scenario, yeah. But you got to balance that because other reviews do mention scratches on the case, sometimes on the screen. So it really highlights the variability you get with renewed stuff. Depends on the seller, the grade, excellent, good, whatever they call it.
Okay, so maybe a bit of a gamble, but could pay off. Let's talk display. It's small, 5.4 inches, but it's a Super Retina XDR OLED.
Yeah, and that means it's sharp. Really sharp. 2340 by 1080 resolution, 476 pixels per inch.
So text looks crisp, images clear.
Definitely. OLED gives you those amazing deep blacks, great contrast, and it supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision.
So movies and stuff look better.
If the content supports it, yeah. You'll see more vibrant colors, better dynamic range. It's a really nice screen for its size.
And true tone. I like that feature.
Me too. It adjusts the screen's white balance based on the light around you, so it looks more natural, easier on the eyes. Really helps if you're reading a lot.
Okay. But the expert review mentions something about the refresh rate.
Yes. It's a standard 60 hertz refresh rate.
Which means
scrolling and animations might not look quite as buttery smooth as on phones with 90 hertz or 120 hertz screens.
Right. Some Android phones have that.
Exactly. It's not bad. The display is great otherwise. But if you're used to a higher refresh rate, you might notice it feels a little dated, maybe.
Okay. Something to consider. But how does it actually run? It's got the A14 Bionic chip inside.
Yeah, and that's the key. That was Apple's top chip when the 12 series came out. And it's the exact same chip that's in the bigger iPhone 12 and 12 Pro.
Seriously, in this tiny phone.
Yep. So you're getting genuine flagship performance, multitasking, gaming, demanding apps. It handles it all really smoothly. The expert review really hammered that point home. No compromise on power.
Okay, that's impressive. This specific model has 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. 4 GB RAM seems fine, but 64 GB storage, is that enough these days?
Well, the 4 GB RAM helps keep things running smoothly. Apps launch fast. The 64 GB, that really depends on you, doesn't it? If you stream most of your music and videos, don't shoot tons of 4K video, maybe manage your apps.
Yeah.
Could be fine. But, and this is a big but for iPhones.
No SD card slot.
Exactly. No expandable storage. Once that 64 GB is full, you're deleting stuff or paying for iCloud. It's definitely a potential bottleneck if you store a lot locally.
Yeah, that's a classic iPhone limitation. Okay, cameras. Huge deal for most people. It's got a dual 12-megapixel setup on the back.
Right. A main wide camera with an f1.6 aperture, which is pretty good for letting light in.
Some better low-light shots.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And an ultra-wide lens with a 120-degree field of view. Great for landscapes or getting everyone in the picture.
And Apple's software magic. Night mode, deep fusion.
All there. Night mode works on both rear lenses. Deep Fusion analyzes textures pixel by pixel. Smart HDR3 helps balance tricky lighting. It basically tries to give you good photos automatically in most situations.
I remember night mode being a big step up on the 12 series.
It was. Makes a real difference in dark scenes. And the front 12MP camera gets night mode too, plus it does 4K video up to 60 fps. Good for selfies, video calls.
Sounds pretty capable, but the expert review mentions something missing.
Yes, no dedicated telephoto lens.
So zooming in is just digital zoom.
Correct, which means image quality can degrade the more you zoom. If you just want wide and ultra-wide shots, it's fine. But if you need optical zoom for distant subjects, this isn't the phone for that.
Okay. And the user reviews on the camera? Any issues reported there?
Again, a bit of a mix with the renewed units. Some people rave about the amazing camera, but others reported it being very slow at taking pictures sometimes or having focus problems.
So potential hardware issues on some renewed phones.
It seems possible, yeah. Again, highlights that variability. You might get a perfect one or one with a slight camera quirk.
Right. Okay, let's talk battery life. Crucial for a phone this small. It's got a 2,227 mAh battery. How does that hold up?
The expert consensus is it's okay. For moderate use, you'll likely get through a day. But start pushing it hard gaming, lots of 5G.
It drains faster.
Yeah, noticeably faster. The small size just limits how big the battery can be.
Yeah.
The expert review noted anything under about 85% battery health on a used one might mean you definitely need a midday charge.
And charging itself, it does 20W fast charging.
If you have the right adapter, yeah. Which isn't included, remember?
Right, got to buy that separately.
But yeah, 20W gets you about 50% in 30 minutes. It also supports MagSafe wireless charging, but only at 12W, slightly slower than the bigger 12s.
Yeah.
And standard Qi wireless, too.
Okay. Now, the battery situation with these renewed ones, what are people saying?
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. The range is huge.
Yeah.
Some people report getting phones with battery health in the high 90s, like 99%.
Wow, practically new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But others report getting phones with battery health down at 80% or even lower sometimes.
Yeah, that's a massive difference in daily experience.
Huge. And then you have the more worrying reports, people saying the battery life was just not amazing or even failing completely. One user said the battery seemed no longer connected. Another said the phone just died after a few months.
Yikes. So the battery is probably the biggest gamble with a renewed Mini.
It certainly seems like one of the most inconsistent areas based on the feedback. Definitely something to check immediately if you buy one.
Good advice. Okay, software. It launched with iOS 14, but it's still getting updates, right? That's a big Apple advantage.
Absolutely. It'll get iOS updates for years to come. New features, security patches, the works. The expert review, like the intuitive interface, widgets, app library, privacy controls. All standard good iOS stuff.
And Face ID for unlocking.
Yep. Secure, usually convenient, unless you're wearing a mask.
Yeah, the mask issue. Still a thing sometimes.
It can be. Apple's made improvements, but it still relies on seeing your features. So masks definitely make it less seamless than just using your fingerprint.
That makes sense. How about connectivity? It's got 5G.
It does. So where you have 5G coverage, you get those faster download and upload speeds, quicker streaming, faster file downloads, that sort of thing.
Nice. And other connections.
Wi-Fi 6 for faster Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0 for headphones and speakers, NFC for Apple Pay, and ultra-wideband, or UWB.
UWB, that's for precise location stuff like AirTags.
Exactly. It helps with things like directional airdrop or pinpointing your keys with an AirTag in the Find My app. Gives the phone better spatial awareness.
Cool. Okay, we keep saying renewed. Let's clarify what Amazon renewed actually means.
Right. So Amazon says these products are inspected, tested, and refurbished to be fully functional. They guarantee they'll work and look like new.
But look like new can be subjective, as we've seen from the reviews.
Precisely. There are those condition grades, excellent, good, acceptable, which implies some cosmetic differences are possible. The key thing is the 90-day Amazon renewed guarantee.
90 days. That's
Yeah.
not very long compared to a new phone's warranty, is it?
No, it's much shorter than the typical one-year manufacturer warranty. It gives you a window to return or replace it if there's a problem early on, but it's limited protection long-term.
And accessories, charger, headphones.
Probably not original Apple ones. Amazon says they'll be compatible and functional, but generic. And the box will likely be a plain one, not the fancy Apple packaging.
Okay, so summing up the experience,
Sure.
potentially great phone, but the renewed condition adds uncertainty.
A definite layer of uncertainty, yes. From cosmetically perfect to functionally flawed, the user reports cover a wide spectrum.
Right, let's crystallize the pros and cons then. What are the big wins for a renewed iPhone 12 mini?
Okay, pro number one. The size. Compact, light, great for one hand.
Yeah.
Pro 2 had an excellent OLED display.
Wow.
Pro 3, the A14 chip, serious performance.
Okay.
Pro 4, a very capable camera system for most people.
Oh.
5, 5G and MagSafe support. 6, IP68 resistance. 7, ongoing iOS updates. And maybe 8, potentially great value if you get a good unit.
Lots of good points. Now, the flip side, what are the cons or risks?
Okay, con number 1, and it's a big one, battery life. Limited capacity, huge variability in renewed units. You might need to charge it often.
Yeah.
Con 2, no charger or headphones included, adds cost. 3, only 64 GB storage and no way to expand it. 4, the 60 Hz display might feel less smooth to some.
Okay.
5, Face ID is less convenient with masks. 6, the small screen isn't ideal for everyone, especially for watching lots of video. 7, the inconsistent quality of renewed units cause cosmetic flaws, camera issues, audio problems, even total failure reported by some. And 8, that limited 90-day warranty.
That's a pretty clear breakdown. So bringing it all together for you listening.
Yeah, look, the renewed iPhone 12 mini could be a fantastic deal. You get that premium Apple experience, flagship power, good cameras, all in a tiny package, potentially for less money.
And it's a significant but.
Buying renewed introduces unpredictability, especially with cosmetics and, crucially, battery health. The user feedback makes that very clear.
So if you absolutely prioritize that small size and you want those high-end features and you're willing to accept a bit of risk for a lower price,
then yeah, the renewed 12 mini is definitely worth putting on your list. But you have to check the seller's reputation, look closely at the condition grade described, and understand you only have that 90-day guarantee.
the experiences out there show it can be hit or miss.
Absolutely. That variability is the key takeaway. Factor that uncertainty into your decision.
Okay, and to leave you with something to chew on, think about the real cost savings. You might save money up front with a renewed phone, but what if the battery needs replacing soon after the 90 days? Or something else goes wrong? How does that compare long-term to buying new or maybe even certified pre-owned from Apple with a proper warranty?
Yeah, what value do you personally place on knowing you have a perfect device out of the box, backed by a longer warranty? How much is that peace of mind worth to you?
Something to definitely think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.